Welcome back. This week on the Bookright site, Amanda asked the question, what is the hardest book we ever read? And since I was overdue for a video, I decided to do mine as a video response. So it was an open-ended question. It could be any book we wanted. The hardest technical book I've ever read is Ulysses by James Joyce, and I am also technically not finished with it yet because the language is so dense it is hard to go straight into my brain. So I'm taking it in very small chunks. So I haven't finished it, but I will someday. But the actual hardest book I ever read is And the Band Played On by Randy Shilts. I first read this as a library copy. I grew up in Iowa. It's very middle class and white and conservative in a lot of places. So when the AIDS epidemic started, we really didn't hear much about it until a kid named Ryan White needed to go to public school in a different state, but a state very similar to ours and a school district very similar to mine. And then in 9th grade, a new classmate was very much into the Tony Kushner play Angels in America, which I'd never read. And he was the only one who had a copy because even the library, our public library, didn't have a copy. But he also mentioned this book, And the Band Played On. And I got it from the library and I read it. And this is a hard book in that it shattered a lot of illusions for me. When you're little and you're 8 or 9 or 10 and your school is having a mock presidential election, I mean, none of you know about politics. So everybody voted the way their parents voted, which was, you know, for Reagan and you know, a lot of very conservative things, and very conservative things and prejudices and homophobia contributed to the size of the AIDS epidemic and the amount of, you know, human loss and spread just through assuming that a disease belongs solely to a gay population that you don't approve of because of, you know, whatever ridiculous stricture. So it was hard to come to terms at 13 with the idea that all of these institutions that I have believed in my whole life that are supposed to protect us and protect everybody, the government and the president and the healthcare, you know, system, that they only protect you if you are a certain color or a certain creed or a certain sexuality. And that took a bit to come to terms with. But then from there, I went on to read books like The Coming Plague by Laurie Garrett, and then her second book, Betrayal of Trust, which is global public health, not just emerging diseases. Blood by Douglas Starr, which is an epic history of medicine and commerce, which explains our blood banking system and a lot of, you know, myths and problems. That was where reading And the Band Played On led me. You know, and I have a degree in epidemiology now. That is what I do. Because I read a really tough book. So, it's tough books. They're always good for you. So, thanks for watching. Bye. Oh, it still gets me.